Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you are a true fan of the Dallas Cowboys, then this is your perfect place for you. Today we have some very important and exciting news about one of the most reliable and powerful players on the team. The All-Pro kicker Brandon Aubrey. This update could shape the future of the Cowboys, so make sure you stay until the end. And if you enjoy the content, like this video and turn on subscribe and support the channel. Let's begin. Dallas Cowboys have been very active during this off season. The team has focused heavily on improving their defense after another disappointing season. Fans and the analysts alike have been talking about changes on the defensive side, new players, and a fresh approach to building a stronger roster. However, while all that has been happening, another very important situation has been quietly developing on special teams. This situation is about Brandon Aubrey. For many fans, Brandon Aubrey has become one of the most trusted players on the team. Every time he steps into field, there is confidence, there is belief, there is feeling that points are almost granted. But recently, questions started to rise about his future with the team. Would he stay? Would another team try to sign him? Or would the Cowboys secure him with a long-term deal? Now we finally have some clarity. The Cowboys placed a restricted tender on Brandon Aubrey worth about $5.7 million for 1 year. This move is very important because it gives the team control over his situation. But it does not fully guarantee his long-term future, and it creates a window where other teams could still make an offer. However, according to the reports from Adam Schefter, there was deadline approaching. Brandon Aubrey had until a specific day to sign an offer sheet with another team. And there is where the good news comes for the Cowboys fans. No team made an offer by now. That's right. No team stepped forward with the deal. That means if nothing changes, Brandon Aubrey will remain with the Dallas Cowboys for the upcoming season. This is a huge. This is stability. And of course, this is exactly what fans want to hear. But the story does not end there. The Cowboys have made their intentions very clear. Owner Jerry Jones has openly expressed how much the organization values Aubrey. He placed his performance, his story, and his importance on the team. Even though negotiations are still ongoing, it is obvious that Cowboys want to keep him for long term. Jerry Jones explained that the team already has a strong offer on the table. He also made it clear that believe in Aubrey and what he brings to the team. This is not just about numbers, this is about trust, consistency, and excellence. And when you look at Aubrey's performance, it is easy to understand why. Last season, he made 36 out of the 32 field goals. That is already impressive. But what makes it even more remarkable is the distance of his kicks. His longest field goal was 64 yards. That is not normal. This is an elite level performance. Even his misses tell a story. All 6 of his missed kicks were from distance greater than 50 yards. That means from the regular distance, he was nearly perfect. He also made 47 out of the 48 extra points, showing just how reliable he is in every situation. Now, let us talk about his previous season, which was even more incredible. In that season, Brandon Aubrey made all 10 of his field goals from the 50 yards or more. Think about that a moment. 10 kicks, all from long distance, and not a single miss. Overall, he went 36 out of the 38. That kind of the accuracy is rare. That kind of the consistency is what turns a good player into one of the best in the entire league. And that is why many people believe he deserves to become a highest paid kicker in NFL history. Yes, you heard that correctly. The question is not whether he deserves it. The question is whether it will happen in the Dallas or somewhere else in the future. For now, it looks like Dallas is still place for the him. This situation is very important for the Cowboys because special teams often decide close games. A reliable kicker can be a difference between winning and losing. In high pressure moments, when the entire game depends on one kicker, you need someone who can trust. And right now, Brandon Aubrey is that player. As the team continues to build for the future, keeping key players like Brandon Aubrey become essential. The Cowboys are not just thinking about the present season, they are thinking about long-term success. They are thinking about building a competent team that can compete for the championship. And having one of the best kickers in the league is the big part of that plan. Fans should feel encouraged by this news. It shows that the organization understands the value of the consistency. It shows that they are willing to invest in players who perform at high level. And most importantly, it shows that the Cowboys are ignoring any part of the roster, from the defense to offense to special teams. Every area matters. Look ahead. The next step will likely to be a long-term contract discussion. If Brandon Aubrey continues to perform at this level, there is no doubt that he will get a major deal. The only question is when it will happen. Until then, Cowboys fans can relax knowing that their all-pro kicker is expected to stay with the team for upcoming season. And that is great news. As always, situations like this can change quickly in NFL, but for now, everything is pointing in a positive direction for the Dallas. Team has made its intention clear. The player has proven his value and the future looks promising. So, what do you think about this situation? Do you believe Brandon Aubrey should become the highest paid kicker in the league? And how important do you think he is to the Cowboys' chances of the success next season? Let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoy this breakdown, do not rumors. Today we have very interesting story. It is about Dallas Cowboys possibly making a bold move in the 2026 NFL draft. Several trusted experts believe the Cowboys could trade up in the draft. And not just any move, they might jump ahead of the New Orleans Saints to get top defensive player. This is exciting, but it also raises many questions. Why would Dallas move up? Who are they targeting? And are the Saints really a threat? Let us break everything down here. We are now only 1 week away from the 2026 NFL draft. As draft gets closer, patterns are starting to appear. Experts are studying teams closely and they are beginning to agree on certain ideas. 3 well-known draft analysts have made similar prediction. Mel Kiper Jr. from the Entertainment and Sport Program Network, Danny Bugler from The Athletic, and Toddy Mache from The Link all believed something. They think Dallas Cowboys will trade up in the draft. Not only that, but they believe Dallas will move ahead of the New Orleans Saints to select top defensive prospect. When 3 different experts say the same thing, it gets attention. This is not just a random guess anymore, it is becoming a real possibility. First of all, you may ask yourself who is the target. The main name connected to this situation is Sonny Styles. He is a linebacker from the Ohio State University. Sonny Styles is seen as one of the most talented defensive players in the draft class. He is strong, fast, and very smart on the field, and he can stop the run, cover receivers, and even rush the quarterback. For the Dallas Cowboys, this kind of the player is very valuable. Team has been trying to improve its defense, especially in the front seven. Adding a player like Sonny Styles could change everything, but here is a problem. Many other teams also want him. At the first, it looks like New Orleans could take Sonny Styles before Dallas has a chance. That is why people are talking about the Cowboys trading up. But when we look closer, things become more interesting. The New Orleans Saints recently lost Mario Davis in free agents. This is a big loss because he was an important leader on their defense. However, they signed Caden Ellis to replace him, and Caden Ellis is not a new face. He was already with the team before and knows the system well. He is expected to play multiple linebacker, especially on early downs. He will also have chances to rush the quarterbacks during the passing plays. In addition, the New Orleans Saints already have another linebacker like Peter Weller and Danny Statsman. These players will compete for the starting position. So, when you look at full picture, the New Orleans Saints may not be desperate for another linebacker. That means they might not be the biggest danger to the Cowboys after all. If it is not the New Orleans Saints, then who is the real threat for the Dallas Cowboys on this move? The answer is several teams picking before Dallas. There is strong chance that Sonny Styles will not even reach to the Cowboys pick at number 12. You know that Cowboys number 12 pick, it is their first chance. Teams like Washington Commanders and Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins could all select him early. Oh wow, this is not good, my friend. Each of these teams has needs on the defense, and if they see a player like Styles available, they may not wait. This is why the Cowboys are thinking about trading up. They do not want to take the risk of losing their targets. But also think about trade possibility. One team to watch closely is Cleveland Browns. They hold number 6 pick in the draft. Many experts believe this is the perfect spot for the Cowboys to make into. Why should Cleveland agree to this? Because many teams in this draft are looking to trade down. This draft class is very unique. They are talented players, but many of them play positions that are not considered premium. For example, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and Jeremy Love are all target players, but they do not play quarterback or elite pass rush. Because of this, teams may prefer to trade down and collect more draft picks instead of staying on one spot. This creates an opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys. Why this draft is different this year? For the Dallas Cowboys, this is a question, of course, you can ask yourself, but think a moment more about this one. This draft is not like others. Usually, teams are chasing quarterbacks, two top pass rushers early in the draft. But this year, the top talent is played across different positions. That changes how teams think. Instead of the fighting to move up, many teams are actually willing to move back. This is good news for the Cowboys. It means they might not have to pay a very high price to move up. And what should the Saints do for this situation? Interestingly, the New Orleans Saints could also benefit from this situation. That's what you have to know, of course. Instead of staying at their current position, they might consider trading down as well. By doing this, they could gain more draft picks and build a stronger team overall. So, while people are focusing on Cowboys moving up, the New Orleans Saints might be planning to opposite. So, what does all of this mean for the Dallas Cowboys? It means the Cowboys are in a very interesting position. They have a chance to make bold move and secure one of the biggest and best defensive players in the draft. But they must act carefully. There are many teams ahead of them, and the competition is strong. Trading up could be the right decision, but it will depend on timing, strategy, and how the draft unfolds. One thing's clear, this is going to be one of the most exciting drafts in recent years. What do you think, Cowboys fans? Should the Dallas trade up for the Sonny Styles, or should they stay patient and keep their picks? Let me know in your thought in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit notification bell so as to be with us for every update about Dallas Cowboys involving a Mick Parsons. The team finally has the power to make a bold move again. Report says that the owner Jerry Jones and his front office have identified two top players they are really like. These players are Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain Jr. Both players are considered elite talents and could become stars in NFL. However, there are some concerns. Caleb Downs has had injury worries, especially with his knee, while Ruben Bain Jr. has questions about his physical measurements. Even with these risks, the Cowboys might still take a chance because they need top talent on the defense. Now, let us talk about the biggest problem for the team right now, the linebacker position. After losing key players and dealing with the injuries, the Cowboys are left with very limited option. One of the few reliable players is Demarshon Overshawn, but even he has not fully taken control of the defense yet. This brings us to an important role called the green dot. This is a player who communicates with the coaches during the game and tells the rest of the defense what to do. Usually this role is given to linebacker because they stand in the middle of the defense and can see everything clearly. Right now, the Cowboys do not have a clear leader for this role, which is a big concern. There is an interesting idea being discussed right now. Could a safety take this responsibility? The Cowboys recently added Jalen Thompson, and he is known for being smart and experienced. Some people believe he could handle the green dot role. However, this is not a perfect solution because safeties do not always play close to the line of the scrimmage. That makes communication more difficult during fast plays. So, while it is possible, it may not be the best option for the team. Because of this, the Cowboys are also looking at free agents. One name that stands out is Bobu Okeleke. He is a proven player with years of experience. He has made many tackles in his career and has already handled the green dot role before. Bringing in a veteran like him could help to stabilize the defense and provide the leadership that the team currently lacks. But the Cowboys are not only focusing on linebackers, they are also looking closely at the cornerback position. Defense in today's NFL requires flexibility, and having strong cornerbacks is very important. One player getting a lot of attention is Ovion Talel from the Clemson. He recently had a meeting with the Cowboys, which shows serious interest from the team. Talel is seen as a player who can solve multiple problems. Even though he is not the biggest player, he is very quick and can play different roles, including nickel corner. This is important because the Cowboys want to keep Dallon Bland on the outside, where he performs best. Coaches believes Brand can shut down one side of the field, so adding a strong nickel corner would make the defense more competent. However, there are still concerns about Talel's health. He had a hamstring injury that prevented him from finishing workouts early. The Cowboys are carefully studying this situation before making a final decision. Health is always a big factor when it comes to draft picks. As we get closer to draft, one thing is very clear. The Cowboys are focused on rebuilding their defense. The trade of the Micah Parsons created a big hole, but it also gave the team new opportunities with extra draft picks, possible trades, and free agent option. The Cowboys have many ways to improve. Fans should expect aggressive moves. This could include trading up and signing experienced players and drafting young stars who can make an immediate impact. The team knows that defense wins games, and they are trying to build units that can compete at highest level again. So as the 2026 NFL draft gets closer, excitement continues to grow. Will the Cowboys trade up for superstar? Will they find their defensive leader, or will they surprise everyone with an unexpected move? One thing is certain, the big changes are coming, and the future of the team is being shaped right now. Thank you for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, this update of the Cowboys, and we will break down the latest free agents moves that the team did right, what they got wrong, and the 3 smart signings they can still make while staying under salary cap. So Dallas Cowboys have been very active this offseason. They made several moves in free agents, bringing in new players to strengthen the roster. Some of these moves were exciting, while others raised questions among the fans. One of the biggest additions was trading for Russian Gary. At first, many people criticized this move. Some believed the Cowboys gave up too much for him. However, when you look closely, this trade actually makes a lot of sense. Gary is a strong and consistent defensive player. He fills a major needs on the defensive line, and the Cowboys need help with their pass rush, and Gary gives them exactly that. He is experienced, powerful, and ready to contribute immediately. This was clearly a win-now move for the Dallas. Another area where Cowboys improved was in the secondary. They added players like Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, and Delion Kendrick. These are not the biggest names in football, but they bring something very important, such as versatility and depth. The new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, is known for working well with defensive backs, so these signings were clearly part of the bigger plan. The Cowboys want to build a flexible and intelligent defense that can adapt to different situations. This was another smart move by the front office. However, not everything went perfectly as planned. One of the biggest mistakes the Cowboys made was not re-signing Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney finished last season very strong. In the final games, he showed that he can still be a dominant force in the defense. Letting him go creates a gap in pass rush rotation. Even through the Cowboys added Lashan Gary, keeping Clowney would have made the defensive line very, very strong. This decision is still confusing to many fans, but the biggest concern right now is the linebacker position. The Cowboys currently have a very thin group at linebacker. They have young players like DeMarvion Overshawn, but they lack experience and leadership in the middle of the defense. And this is where veteran players become very important. And that brings us to first potential signing. Let's talk about on Bob Wagner. Bob Wagner is the future Hall of the Fame player. Even at 35 years old, he is still playing at high level. Last season, he recorded over 160 tackles along with the sacks and interceptions. This is incredible production for a player at his age. More importantly, Bob Wagner brings leadership. He understands the game at very high level. He can organize the defense, guide young players, and make big plays when it matters most. For the Cowboys, signing Wagner would solve a major problem instantly. The only challenge is money. He previously signed a deal worth of around $9 million. The Cowboys would need him to accept less to fit under their budget. But if they can make it worth, this would be a perfect move. Now let's move to another position of the need, edge rusher. If the Cowboys do not bring back Clowney, they need another experienced player on the edge rush. This is where Derek Barnett comes in. Derek Barnett is a Super Bowl champion. He has experience playing in big games and strong defenses. Recently, he had solid seasons with the consistent sacks numbers. He may not be a superstar, but he is reliable. He can rotate in, provide pressure, and add depth in defensive line. For a team trying to compete at high level, players like Barnett are very valuable. Again, the question is cost. His market value is not cheap, but the Cowboys can negotiate a lower deal. He could be a smart addition. Finally, let's talk on running back position. The Cowboys already have Javonte Williams, but they still need depth behind him. That brings us to the Hassan Haskins. Hassan Haskins is not a big name, but he is a hardworking and reliable player. He has experience and he takes care of the football. In his career, he has very few mistakes, which is important for the backup running back. He can contribute on special teams and provide support when needed. Most importantly, he is affordable. His contract would fit easily within the Cowboys' budget. That kind of the low-risk signing can quietly improve the team. So, what does all of this mean for the Cowboys? It means the team is close. They have made good moves. They have improved in key areas, but they are not finished yet. They still need leadership at linebacker. They still need depth on the edge rush. And they still need support in the running game. If the Cowboys can make just a few more smart budget-friendly signings, they can turn this roster into serious contender. At the 2026 season approach, as this season is coming, every decision matters, of course. Will the Cowboys sign Bob Wagner and fix their linebacker problem? Will they add another edge rusher like Delek Barnett, or will they focus on the draft instead? These are the questions that will shape the future of this team. So by now, thank you for watching us. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do not forget to... It is about Dallas Cowboys possibly making a bold move in the 2026 NFL Draft. Several trusted experts believe the Cowboys could trade up in the draft. And not just any move, they might jump ahead of the New Orleans Saints to get top defensive player. This is exciting, but it also raises many questions. Why would Dallas move up? Who are they targeting? And are the Saints really a threat? Let us break everything down here. We are now only 1 week away from the 2026 NFL Draft. As the draft gets closer, patterns are starting to appear. Experts are studying teams closely and they are beginning to agree on certain ideas. 3 well-known draft analysts have made similar prediction. Mel Kiper Jr. from the Entertainment and Sport Program Network, Danny Bugler from The Athletic, and Toddy Mache from The Link all believed something. They think Dallas Cowboys will trade up in the draft. Not only that, but they believe Dallas will move ahead of the New Orleans Saints to select top defensive prospect. When 3 different experts say the same thing, it gets attention. This is not just a random guess anymore, it is becoming a real possibility. First of all, you may ask yourself, who is the target? The main name connected to this situation is Sonny Styles. He is a linebacker from the Ohio State University. Sonny Styles is seen as one of the most talented defensive players in the draft class. He is strong, fast, and very smart on the field, and he can stop the run, cover receivers, and even rush the quarterback. For the Dallas Cowboys, this kind of the player is very valuable. Team has been trying to improve its defense, especially in the front 7. Adding a player like Sonny Styles could change everything, but here is a problem. Many other teams also want him. At the first, it looks like New Orleans could take Sonny Styles before Dallas has a chance. That is why people are talking about the Cowboys trading up. But when we look closer, things become more interesting. The New Orleans Saints recently lost Mario Davis in free agents. This is a big loss because he was an important leader on their defense. However, they signed Caden Ellis to replace him, and Caden Ellis is not a new face. He was already with the team before and knows the system well. He is expected to play multiple linebacker, especially on early downs. He will also have chances to rush the quarterbacks during the passing plays. In addition, the New Orleans Saints already have another linebacker like Peter Weller and Danny Statsman. These players will compete for the starting position. So, when you look at full picture, the New Orleans Saints may not be desperate for another linebacker. That means they might not be the biggest danger to the Cowboys after all. If it is not the New Orleans Saints, then who is the real threat for the Dallas Cowboys on this move? The answer is several teams picking before Dallas. There is strong chance that Sonny Styles will not even reach to the Cowboys pick at number 12. You know that Cowboys number 12 pick, it is their first chance. Teams like Washington Commanders and Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati